Hello, Crusader Shorts here, and welcome back to a new video. And today I will be talking about the World of Warcraft expansion theory, which is the reign of Azshara, or Azshara. Azshara? Yeah, whichever way you want to pronounce it, you know. I call it Azshara. So, this is basically the fan expansion concept for a new World of Warcraft expansion, and the whole concept behind this is that it's based on the theme of the Great Seas, which are, for those of you who don't know, the oceans that surround the Maelstrom, which is located between Azeroth's major continents. So the actual point of the expansion is that it will explore many of the lands that will be found around and under these seas, and the major focus of the expansion is between the Alliance and Horde battling against the Wicked Queen Azshara, who is obviously the leader of the Naga, and you can check her up on the lore. So I am in Darnassus today, and this is just a bit of background footage while I talk. I won't really be playing much while I talk. This is just, you know, a bit of backing footage. But the theme is that Azshara, the Queen of the Naga, has spent 10,000 years at the bottom of the ocean, dreaming of the kingdom she ruled previously, you know, with the Well of Eternity, Sargeras, and all of that old lore. So for 10,000 years, the old gods have fed her hatred through the Whispers, which is obviously how Deathwing went mad, and obviously she's transformed into a monster, which is a Naga. And obviously the power of the old gods call to her and tell her that it's time for her to, you know, rise, for her uprising, and obviously to just come to light once more. So using the stolen power at her disposal, Azshara has wrenched the sunken kingdoms of the deep free from the ocean floor and raised them to the surface. So she creates a vast new land by raising the ocean cities, or her sort of city under the ocean, to the surface. So the Nagas are all coming to the surface now. Obviously you can see a lot of Naga at the surface in WoW, but obviously a lot of them are underwater or have come underwater, and there's not really, you know, a huge amount of them. This is a mass uprising. So she's searching for something that's been lost for an eternity, and with it she'll plunge Azeroth into unending horror until she gets it. Now I'm not really sure what she's actually looking for, but I'm just going to read down this forum post, which is on MMO Champion, which is obviously the theme of the expansion. So the features is a new content, a new zone, in the content, which is called Zin Ashari, the glory of Azshara. And Azshara has raised the once sunken portion of the ancient Kalimdor to the surface, creating a new continent surrounding the Maelstrom. This new continent, Zin Ashari, contains 7 leveling zones, 1 max level zone, 2 new faction city zones, and 1 PvP zone. The new content is 100 plus, so that means that it's set after Warlords of Draenor, so this could be the next expansion, and I'll tell you why, which is due to a Reddit post later, why I think an expansion with this similar theme could actually be the next expansion. So there's 8 new dungeons that can be found across this new land or continent, if you like, and you have to assemble a crew aboard your own warship, customize its appearance and armaments, and sail onwards to the new adventure. So new raids have been discovered, so you can battle the onslaught of the Naga armies of Azshara and contend with other dangers that have risen from the deep. There's a new PvP zone, which is the island Tel Abim, represents the invaluable resources for whoever can hold it. Battle your enemy faction and prove your valor. The new battleground is Clash of the Great Seas, and the Alliance and Horde fleets are locked in deadly combat. Battle the enemy as you make your way from ship to ship to sink the enemy's flagship vessel. So it's featured around the water, although lands have been raised. A lot of, vehicular combat via boats and battleships. So we have the Path of War, which is a new leveling system for people to advance with. Hopefully we'll move on to that later. The Art of War, which is a 4th spec for every class. And Breath of the Abyssal Maw is the power of the elemental plane of water saturates Zin Ashari, granting unusual properties to all those who venture there in the form of underwater walking. While much of Ashari's land rests above the ocean, there are also many sunken regions that still lie underwater. The breadth of the abyssal moor allows adventurers to freely explore the sunken secrets of Zin Ashari. So this is a way for players to breathe underwater, slightly like the levelling zone which was in Cataclysm, the underwater levelling zone which was Vashir. So there is new factions that will battle throughout the expansion, heroes and villains of the Great Seas, new monsters and more. There is 4 fabled patches. Obviously this is a fan expansion, what I'm talking about, but it's a similar theme to what people believe could be the next expansion. We have patch 1 on Darker Tides, patch 2 Shattered Kingdom, patch 3 the Demon's Tomb, which I'm guessing is something to do with Sargeras, which is very nice because we haven't really done anything involving Sargeras specifically yet. We have the patch 4, which is City of the Old Gods, which is fabled to come in June, which obviously is a fan expansion, so that's not really relevant. And then we have a map. I'll try and remember to put some of these pictures on in the editing so you can see these maps and things like that. They look really awesome because they've got Kazan, the Broken Isles, and you know, the original islands around and in the Maelstrom, and the Maelstrom's in the middle. So this is a really, really nice addition, and the map looks very, very professional and just looks amazing, so I'll try and remember to show those after. So we have Kultaras, which is the island nation that is rediscovered, and we have Plunder Isle, which is a pirate stronghold, Delasar Reef, which is a vast coral forest, which is raised from the seafloor and thrusted to the surface, Sailgrave, which is a ship graveyard, which will be very interesting to see, Kazan, which is obviously the homeland of the goblins, and this is amazingly interesting. I really want to go to Kazan and the Goblin territories once more. This is very interesting. Veruginous Seamount, a chain of undersea volcanoes. The Stygian Expanse, which is a region of the ocean, and it's an undersea desert, homeland of the Stygians, which is a race of intelligent undead. The Broken Isle, which are lands raised from the sea again, decades earlier by Gul'dan, who sought to find the tomb of Sargeras. So this is extremely interesting. I love the lore behind Sargeras, and obviously the tomb, which has obviously got artifacts in, which could mean a new legendary if we do go around this path, or go down this path, which is the could be the Skull of Gul'dan, depending where it's been left in the lore. I've already done a video on Gul'dan, and also the Scepter of Sargeras. We have the Dark Coil Chasm, which is the Black Heart of Zin Ashari, which is an undersea canyon, which is the main seat of Naga power. Nazjatar, which is 110 plus. This is actually the main city of the Naga, built 10,000 years ago when they pledged their service to the Old Gods. Ashara reigns from our palace here, so this could mean a final raid. Then we have Tel Abim, which is a PvP island known for its export of bananas, and this is where the Horde and Alliance fight. So this is similar to the new addition of the PvP zone in Warlords of Draenor, which many of you know as Ashran. So I believe that's similar to that. We have Dungeons Galhara, which is a Kaldurai city, Fall of Makaru, which is Makaru people, the Makroru people, does it say? And this is a capital of the Makroru people. The Grave Gaia, which is another ship graveyard with pirates. Ruins of Undermine, which is the devastated city of the goblins of Kazan. Serpent Forge, which is the war foundry of the Naga legions, which sounds similar to the Iron Foundry. We have Stronghold of the Drowned, which is an undead fortress. Tomb of Sargeras, which is the resting place of Sargeras, and this is a dungeon. I would have liked this as a quest storyline zone, which could be to do with a legendary. Does sound good still. The Venom Tide Bastion, which is a mighty fortress built by the Naga. Then we have some concept of new creatures. We have Ozumat, Fiend of the Dark Below, which is a world boss. You know, you've seen him in the old Naga dungeon from Cataclysm, the Stygian Armada, Palace of Azshara, and world boss Warmonger LXM-13, which sounds like some sort of robot. As for races, we have the Undine, which are an aquatic race which resemble a cross between dwarfs and exotic fish. They just look like Naga but smaller and more dwarven. Then we have the Torra, which are humanoid turtle folk, which are born from a sea turtle demigod that was slain during War of the Ancients. So they look very, very much so like tortoises or turtles. Obviously, turtles due to being underwater. Calamari are like octopuses or squids, and they are very intellectual, and they're traders and merchants underwater. The Mero seem like in the early ages of the Sundering, many of the early Naga who have been created from the transformed night elves regarded their new status with revulsion. Their minds, once clouded by the Burning Legion, have been freed from demonic influence, and they recoiled from the dark intelligence that now sought to enslave them to its wicked designs. So they look like skinnier, more lankier versions of the Naga, and they've broken from their influence from demonic powers. The Lublub, which are crab-like species, which are Macrora, which are a lesser breed of the Macrora. We have the Zandril, they're called Glublub, sorry. The crabs. The Zandril, which look very much like the Worgans but crossed with a boar, more boar-like, and they inhabit the islands of the Great Seas, and they are distantly related to the Hosen of Pandaria. We have the Mako, which are ferocious and powerful shark-like aquatic humanoids that bear the traits of sharks, like I just said, and they include great gaping maws filled with teeth, dorsal fins, and terrifying black eyes. The Shredder, which are fish-like aquatic racers, which are similar to Murlocs, but more like anglerfish, which are obviously real-life deep-sea creatures. Goblin bots, which are very self-explanatory, and we also have larger versions of these. And that is the main basis of the expansion. So moving over to the wiki to see if there's anything different. We have patches once more, new features which have been over, new zones, raids, factions, and organisations. We have the High Crest Offensive, which is the Royal Navy of Kulturas, the Shadow Judgment, which is the fleet of Darnassus, the Scarlet Tide, the fleet of Silvermoon, Operation Undermine, the Bilgewater Cartel salvage flotilla, which is a boat trying to look for salvage, from the Bilgewater Cartel, Armies of Nazjatar, the Wrathfathom forces, Flamescale forces, Dark Coil forces, Azshara's Royal Guard. Then we have the Drowned Legion, the Abyssal Sodality, the Red Corsairs, the Kazan Reclamation Initiative, the Seascar Macrora. Then we have the list of the races we've been through, plus a few more such as Demons, Pit Fiends, Felraks, Argus Hounds, and Giants. Then we have some new arenas. Featured characters include Malfurion, Stormrage, Jarod Shadowsong, High Priestess, Tyrande Whisperwind, Fleet Admiral Falcon Highcrest, Jaina Proudmoore, Lothamar Theron, Lady Liadrin, Trade Prince Gallywix, which is obviously a goblin. Then we have villains: Azshara, Lady Nalaresh, Lord Pythoness, Yoden's Prince of Fathoms, Neptulon the Tidehunter, Pluton Lord of the Drowned, and then a list of characters which are lesser known and not as noteworthy. Obviously we have other involvements such as Thrall, Bane Bloodhoof, Warchief Vol'jin, Chandris Feathermoon, Brawl Bearmantle, Valera Sanguinar, Muradin Bronzebeard, Gen Greymane, and Varian Rin, King of Stormwind. So that's the basis of the fan-made expansion and what it could be like. Now moving on to the main point of this video is evidence surrounding a future Azshara or Naga based expansion. So, with the new Runesaber mount coming up, this is posted by the Reddit user Azmunda, and I will try and remember to link this post. A lot of users agree with his claims and believe they, have meaning. So, obviously on the map here we have Sargeras and one of the Titans. I believe the leader of the Titans on the World of Warcraft, who is known as Amon'Thul or Amon'Tul, and we have okay, so here's the proof. We have the new Runesaber coming up, which is a new store mount, and this is because Blizzard have been known to use models from the next expansion as shop or store mounts. An example of this is the Celestial Steed, which is similar to the Invincible model from Icecrown Citadel. Then we have Heart of the Aspects, which is used, which used the Cloud Serpent skeleton and base model, which is obviously Mists of Pandaria. Then we have the Armoured Bloodwing, Iron Sky Reaver, and Enchanted Fey Dragon, which are all rips from the Warlords of Draenor models. And now we get a Runesaber. So this is just speculation, but it would fit into the Night Elves or Naga themed expansion. And furthermore, as Reddit user Azmunda claims, we get the shipyards, which I have briefly noted in my 6.2 patch and changes video. And since we get the shipyard with the fresh new ship models, and then a buddy, and then his buddy mentioned something. Do you really think Blizzard makes shiny new ship models only for 6.2? New ships could fit perfectly into an Azshara Kul'Tiras South Seas expansion, and the Saber Mount, Night Elves, and other features could fit into this. So, what I think is this is very true. Blizzard have high quality naval ships already, and the models for this, so it could be, it could be, I don't know, something, it could not be something to do with the next expansion, pretty much. But then again, if they're making very, very new ships, it could be to make patch 6.2 very good as a patch, or it could be building up towards the naval fleets, guild ships, and the other features coming in the next Azshara expansion if it does come to light. So what I think is this is very good because Blizzard rips a lot of mounts from the next expansion early, and this could mean there could be a water-themed Azshara or Naga expansion. So I agree with this guy. If you guys, have an opinion on this or think that this could be the case, then do comment below with your opinion, because it does matter, and I am interested to see if this will, anything will come of this theory. I mean, Reddit has a lot of theories, but I mean, it does make sense that this could be the case. And another point is that they are still working on patch 6.2 to polish it up, but it is mainly done. They've done most of the raids, and it will be ready for release soon. And that's not the final patch. I believe there'll be at least 1 or 2 patches after that. So they are still working on Warlords of Draenor, but the majority of things they already have close to completion. So this means they could have another team, or they could also be working on the next expansion. So this just gives some, some leaked information, some theories of the next expansion, which is always interesting. So tell me what you think at the end of the video. Could this come, as a new expansion? And just tell me what you think. Subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed it, and comment your opinions, ideas for next videos, or other videos in my other series, new WoW videos, theories, more information. You can post me and I could make videos on them. Just general things to help with the channel. And thanks for watching, as always. If you made your way to the end of the video, as always, I will say, comment below on your opinion on this, and thanks for watching and subscribing, and